This video tutorial from exocad will demonstrate how to navigate and use all the functions within the DentalDB application. Note, many functions in DentalDB are the same as in ChairsideDB and exoplanDB. Our focus is on three main areas of the DentalDB application: the project area, the job definition area, and the actions area. Any new case is automatically generated with a timestamp when the DentalDB is opened. Note, there is a user guide indicating how to proceed. Within the project area, you can select a client name, dentist, or client number. The other fields will update accordingly. Use the ellipsis button to open a dialog which allows you to select from your list of clients or enter a new one. By choosing the client from this list, you can view the existing patients or cases of this client. Use New to create a new client or to duplicate the client's information. You can update the entry or delete to clear the client from the database. Once a client is created or selected, double-click the entry on the right-hand side or click Accept. You can enter the patient's name in the name field by using the comma to separate the last name and the first name, or use the ellipsis button to add a new entry. The new name will automatically be added to the database as soon as you save your job. By default, for privacy reasons, patients' names will not be included in the file names, and a numeric case ID will be used instead. If some customers prefer to see the patient name directly in the file name, the configuration can be changed by your reseller. However, this should only be enabled if it complies with locally applicable data protection guidelines and a type of disk encryption is used that also encrypts file names. Enter the first name and last name. Select the date of birth by navigating through the calendar. Note, by toggling through the years, you can choose the desired year, month, and the day. Note, completing the date of birth information is not mandatory. Accept the entry. To select an existing patient for the selected client, click the drop-down menu. Regular backups of the entire CAD data folder are recommended in case of a system crash or hard drive failure. Select Technician the same way as you select the client. The technician information is not mandatory. Note, in ChairsideDB and exoplanDB, you will only be asked for the patient's name and information. Choose Load to locate a list of all existing orders. Search field allows you to search the list actively with a real-time result by various filters, such as patient name, client, technician name, and global unique ID. To limit the displayed job list to display only locally generated jobs or only imported treatments, click the corresponding box in the project filter. Other filters can be applied, such as unread and deleted datasets. When a project is deleted, you can select Recover to undelete the file, or Destroy to permanently purge the current job from your hard disk. You can use the date filters for a specific period. Also, project dates and time can be sorted by most recent or oldest. The treatment preview and details are integrated in the Load dialog, and by expanding the selection, you can overview some of the key project details. To locate the files of the saved project, open the Explorer. The Tasks Performed area is color-coded to quickly indicate which steps in the process have been completed. Steps in green have been completed, and by clicking on Scan or CAD, you can open the respective files in exocad's 3D viewer, allowing you to quickly inspect the input or output files of your case. However, any steps in grey have not been completed. You can import projects by choosing the Import Source. Note: orders imported through these buttons will include prescription information and must be in a specific format, such as Dental Project for exocad projects, EXO for 3M True Definition, V2.4 and XML for iTero, and 30X or 30XZ for Trios import. To close the dialog without loading a job, click the back arrow at the top left of the screen. The material configuration allows you to select preset material and the respective parameters as distributed by manufacturers and resellers, for example, minimum thickness. This selection is crucial for a proper fit of the restoration. Material configuration files may be loaded locally or downloaded from DentalShare partners. Every material configuration comes with its own work params file. This can be provided by the milling centers, material providers, or manufacturers. The Settings menu displays information and allows configuration of various system options. System information provides a log file of your hardware configuration, error reports, and diagnostic facts. This generated information can be useful for reporting any malfunction of the system. It also displays system and software information such as the engine build. Here, the system language can be changed, and the tooth numbering system for the DB can be selected. The File Network Copy settings allow you to define the destination folder when using the Copy button. Additionally, you may select the option to create a subdirectory for each project or have all project files copy into one main directory. DentalShare can be enabled or disabled. Furthermore, supported multi-die scanning plates can be selected. You can change the configuration of automatic import of iTero and Dental Project files. About shows you the version of the DentalDB application and the dongle serial number. Please do not share your serial number. The Job Definition area is where you select the tooth number, restoration type, material, parameters associated with the restoration, tooth shade, and scan type. Select the number tooth you want to scan or design. Each restoration is color-coded, and the parameters for production are set by the material file that is loaded. Note: in this tutorial, we are using pop-up images to show you different restoration and indication types. The following reconstruction types are available. Anatomical crown restoration type if you wish to create a full contour crown. If you'd like to design a reduced crown with cutback space for ceramic, choose coping. In general, you can choose between anatomic or reduced crowns or bridges. The combination of anatomic crown and anatomic pontic will allow you to design an anatomic bridge or full contour with morphology. The combination of coping and reduced pontics will allow you to design a bridge structure with reduced space or cutback for veneering material. Offset coping is a simple coping with minimum thickness above the preparation. A pressed crown where the framework will be designed as an anatomic coping, and additionally a second part, overpress, is created which contains the occlusal surface of the restoration. This overpress part can be milled in wax in order to be burned out later for pressing purposes. Eggshell crown is a hollow shell provisional crown that is designed preoperatively using scans of non-prepared teeth. You can use the combination of provisional crown and provisional pontic to design a bridge with a pontic shape from an existing tooth on the scan data, and the combination of provisional crown and anatomic pontic would allow you to design a bridge with a pontic shape to replace a missing tooth based on the tooth library. and the combination of pressed crown and pressed pontic will allow you to design a bridge consisting of a framework and an overpress part. Inlay and onlay are with full anatomy, and offset inlay is the framework for inlay with minimum thickness. Telescopic crown is a primary part for a removable structure, fitting the remaining natural tooth with inner metal crowns followed by outer crowns. Bar pillar is the portion of a bar that connects to the implant, and bar segment provides connection between the pillars, with attachments as extra coronal attachment. Other restoration types could be chosen, such as full contour veneer. Bite splint is a device to expand or correct bites and can be used for custom night guards and sport guards. Bite splint with missing tooth is used when the jaw for which you want to design a bite splint has an edentulous area and needs to be covered with splint material. When using the Waxup feature in digital copy milling, the construction is either formed directly from the scan data or from a virtual Waxup. In both cases, the result is the creation of a CAD file. Anatomic Waxup is for copying without any cutback. Reduced Waxup is a framework derived from an anatomic wax model with cutback. And Pontic Waxup indicates a part of the Waxup that is not on a preparation or implant and is used in conjunction with anatomic or reduced Waxup to define bridges for copy milling. If at least one tooth is marked as reduced Waxup, the wizard will show the shrinking step for cutback. However, if only anatomic Waxup is used in the bridge, no cutback will be suggested. Note: for anatomic Waxup and reduced Waxup, the selection must be only the teeth with preparations or implants. Partial denture is used to define a partial denture framework case. Full denture is for fully edentulous cases using denture tooth libraries. This indication type can be used for a single arch or for a full set of dentures. Note: you can choose the desired material based on the manufacturing technology you wish to use, milling or printing. Print base if you only want to print the base and use denture stock teeth. Print base and teeth if both the base and the teeth will be printed. And print base, mill teeth when you print the base but mill the teeth. Mill base if you only want to mill the base and use denture stock teeth. Mill base and teeth if you want to mill base and teeth. And mill base trim teeth when base will be milled with tooth pockets intersecting the model, and the denture stock teeth will be trimmed accordingly to fit on the base. In order to design bite splints and eggshell provisionals, bars, full dentures and partials, the activation of add-on modules is required. Note: in chairside CAD, you need to click on More to see all the available restoration types. Offset substructure is an easily designed structure over scanned bars in any shape you need, from a simple shell design to more complex shapes, including gingiva and tooth shape. Offset substructure requires an activated bar, partial CAD, or full denture module as prerequisite for use. Missing tooth is a tooth that is missing and is not to be restored. You need to define this in order to be able to place connectors between teeth that are normally not next to each other. For example, to create a bridge with teeth 14, 16, 17, we define 15 as a missing tooth. Adjacent teeth are existing neighbouring teeth in the jaw that is to be scanned but not to be restored. And an antagonist defines the opposing jaw of your restoration. After choosing the restoration type, the material must be selected. The material list alters depending on the selected material configuration, the axis of the milling machine, 3D printer and laser machine. You can choose between 3/4 axis milling or 5-axis milling or laser melting machines. The 3/4 axis milling has a different configuration of the fitting related settings and affects the parameters. When using the 3/4 axis milling, a unique insertion axis is enforced for all elements of a bridge, whereas in 5-axis mode, the individual insertion access is possible for each tooth. Once you have selected the material, options and parameters, including their minimum and maximum values, will be provided by the material configuration file. Note: do not change the material if you have already finalized the construction or plan to use a previously saved CAD scene, as the output data will then not take into account the changed material parameters. Once a design scene has been started, changes in material parameters will have no effect. Duplicate the case instead. You can choose whether this job is an implant-based reconstruction and of which type. By selecting On Custom Abutment, a custom abutment will be designed in addition to the selected restoration. And by selecting Screw Retained, the construction will be screw mounted on the implant without using an abutment. Both options are also available as manual positioning in case you scan a tie base instead of using an implant library. Other implant-based reconstructions are available, such as a substructure on a bar. Note: implant module is required for these options. When using a pre-operative scan, an additional scan is loaded to help you create your design, and tooth models can be adapted to the pre-op scan. Note that light blue background indicates the changed values from the standard settings of the options. Choose whether you'd like to use an additional scan for the gingiva mask. For anatomical or reduced crowns and pontics, you have the option to design a virtual gingiva. In the DB, you can select to do that as an option or as mandatory. Design with thimble crown workflow gives you the option to perform the thimble primary part and secondary part design in one session without rescanning or changing projects. If Yes is selected, thimbles are automatically loaded in the shrinking step. The selected work type determines which superstructure will be designed and can be reduced with the usual shrinking features after the thimbles are loaded. Note: this option is only available for anatomic crown, anatomic pontic, coping and reduced pontic, and the libraries that contain thimbles must be used, such as generic and exofan. If pull to margin in cervical adaptation is selected, the shape of the library tooth will be algorithmically changed so that it smoothly connects to the margin line. And if the preserve tooth library shape function has been selected, the distortion of the original library shape is kept to a minimum while connecting the tooth to the margin. This option should be used when implants or dies are outside the position of the planned reconstruction and is only available for anatomic crown, coping and press crown. Note: preserved tooth adaptation is similar to the virtual Waxup feature, and the cervical margin is adjusted to the bottom of the Waxup instead of pulling to the margin line. Furthermore, numeric parameters can be adjusted. All adjustments to numeric parameters that you make here in the DentalDB module will become the default values for the selected dentist when using this particular material and construction. These adjustments will be saved in the database file and not in the material configuration. When numeric parameters get adjusted, a color coding is used for the background of the slider to show different behaviors. Yellow background shows the value was previously changed and you are now using the stored default value. Red background shows that you have just changed this parameter and it will become the new default value. And white background indicates that the value displayed is the global default value and not a dentist-specific setting. Select the material shade for an individual tooth. You can find more production parameters under Advanced Parameters. You can also reset values to material defaults to clear all stored default values for a specific material. Use the Clear Client Specific Defaults in the Edit dialog to clear all stored default values for a specific dentist. If a job contains several restorations of the same type, once a restoration type has been selected, hold Ctrl and left-click on another tooth number to apply the same restoration definition. Also, you can hold Shift and left-click on a non-adjacent tooth to apply the same restoration definition to all the teeth included in the span. You can also simply click on a tooth with indication already defined and drag and drop it to another tooth to apply it. Colours are used to mark the different types of restorations in the job definition. You can define connectors using the toggle buttons. Green specifies that a connector between the teeth has been created. Grey indicates no connectors. And red shows that a connector may not be created. This means that one of the selected types does not permit connectors. In this case, the material does not allow one to create connectors. By default, connectors will be defined automatically whenever you define a pontic. Note that if the restoration and material allows, you can still decide to add or delete a connector during the design in the DentalCAD. Once you select Antagonist for at least one tooth in the arch opposing your restoration, different scan modes will be available. In one stone model, Antagonist is provided by using a bite registration putty. Two stone models are scanned in occlusion but not mounted in an articulator. Two stone models can be scanned using different articulators. Digital Impression Scan provides the scan data from an intraoral scanner. Note, there are different types of integration options available. You may also select the tooth shade of the patient. Click on Save to add the current job details to the database and create a project file folder which will hold all the data related to this job. Duplicate copies the current job into a new job, creating a new project folder. The project and preview images are automatically created. Note, the Scene DentalCAD files will not be duplicated. You can select the filters to include or exclude copying of scan data or construction files. Once a job is saved or loaded from the DB menu, the following options become available in the Actions menu. Scan launches the exocad or third-party scan software using the current job definition. Design launches the exocad DentalCAD app using the current job definition. Manufacture launches exocam or a third-party cam for local fabrication of the current job. Model Creator starts the model design for the current case. Design Partial starts Partial CAD software to design your partial framework. Partial frameworks can currently only be designed in one arch at a time. Note, the partial framework definition can be combined with crowns or copings, bridges, and other types of restoration. For combined cases, click Design to start exocad's CAD application to proceed with margin line detection, tooth setup, and then launch the Partial CAD button in your database. DentalShare enables online collaboration, case transfer, and status tracking. After signing in, the DentalShare upload window opens and you can select the type of service you desire. Details of the DentalShare will be shown in a separate video. While sending or receiving data, different status indicators and symbols appear in your DentalDB window. You can copy the data on a network drive or any other drive. Select Filters to apply. You can also print the job definition prescription or export to PDF. Another job option is scan multiple offset copings, inlay, onlays, or wax ups using the scanner-specific multi-die plate. Simply type in a name for each die position to be used and click on the corresponding tooth position to specify the restoration type for that particular die in the plate. Thank you for watching this video.